So this is the X50 Pro from Vivo. It's a new smartphone with a very special feature. It has a gimbal built into it. They give you this silky smooth footage because they compensate for any shakes you might have mechanically. I'm not talking about software magic. I'm saying an actual mechanical device that fits onto your camera in order to give you the smoothest footage you're probably gonna see. So here's a device. Before I get into that, let's look at the other items inside the box. So they've included a case to get you up and running. We have our power brick. This is Vivo Flash Charge 2.0. I believe this charges at, let me just be clear, 33 watt fast charging. You have a SIM tool, a little bit of paperwork. This is your USB cable. And then you've also got set of headphones by the looks of it. Yes, these look to be a fairly decent included headset. Now this device is targeted at the mid-range buyer. I don't have a price in front of me right now. This thing is super new, but it's gonna have a 700 series processor from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 765G. All right, so there is what the device looks like, and the first thing that strikes you is the finish that they've put on the rear. It is one of these matte finishes which resists fingerprints and, in my opinion, stays looking nicer longer because of its ability to resist. It's got a tapered edge around the side. You can see over here we have our volume up and down, as well as our power switch in that location. The SIM tray as well as the USB connector is down on the bottom. There's a speaker there as well. And then immediately after that, your attention goes to the camera module. There's a little Pro designation there, AI, quad camera. So we have 4 camera units, and this one is unusual. That one kind of looks like one of those folded zoom cameras, but this top one, I believe, is where the gimbal is. So there's a little bit more depth than what you would typically see, but what this means is that the lens element, the actual glass, is going to be capable of mechanically compensating for your hand's movements. So everyone's seen the shaky footage. Software has attempted to smooth that out, but there's still no substitute for a true mechanical gimbal, which is now hidden, baked into something as thin as a smartphone. I also almost forgot to mention this is a 5G capable device. The remainder of the specs, this is an 8GB by 128GB, or there's a 256GB storage option as well. It's a 90 Hz refresh rate screen as well. You can set it up either for a smart switch, or you can permanently pin it to 90 Hz, as I would do, of course. I'm a bit of a junkie for the fast refresh, as you're well aware. Now, supposedly this thing is gonna function in both photo and video mode. Since it is a quad camera setup, I can take a photo 1x, this is the 0.6 wide, 2x, and there's also a 5x option. So what you end up with is a 5x zoom, your standard zoom. You've also got the ultra wide, and you have your main camera. And something I noticed just scrolling through these is that there's a kind of a nice uniformity with the color balance, which isn't always the case when you have a quad camera setup. I'm mostly curious about this gimbal functionality. So when you're in the standard video mode, you can switch between your different camera focal lengths, but then there's this button over here that looks like a stabilization button. However, when you click it, it says ultra stable, and this is engaging the gimbal, at which point things become very smooth. Let's roll a clip on this. Whoa, this is some cinema activity. Otis. Whoa. I can feel the gimbal motor. Essentially what's happening is the lens element is jumping around in there. So when I go to move, it aims to compensate. Stomping down the stairs, we'll see how this one deals with it. It almost feels like magic. Sony A7 is in my left hand, dedicated camera. In my right hand, X50 Pro. Let's see how they compare. So this is the kind of thing that you really have to try for yourself to truly experience, but hopefully this video gives you an idea of how this technology can change the way your smartphone videos can look. And this just pushes things one step further in the direction of the smartphone replacing, for most people, if not everyone, a lot of external camera gear that we would typically or have historically had. So I placed this knife even further into the box, so it's even darker back there. I don't know, you can't even see the knife on that camera right there. And I'm just gonna move in with the night mode here and see what it can do. Ooh, let's see what it came up with. Oh, wow. So it was able to pull detail out even essentially in pitch black.
The knife.
So this is really interesting. We have kind of a one-of-a-kind first exposure for me to a feature like this on a device that's targeted at the mid-range. So it's cool to see innovation in this category, and I'd love to see this in more smartphones because, as you saw from the results, there's really no substitute for a legit gimbal, and to see it shrink in scale to fit inside of a smartphone is pretty cool. I should also mention there's a giveaway. I've got 4 of these units to give away. I'm gonna put a tweet on my Twitter account and I'll put a link in the description so you can go check that out. It'll be really simple. You just retweet that tweet. You can actually win one of these yourself. Good luck to you. Definitely go check that out.